Hello, welcome to the second episode um, of the process that we started last week, which is basically creating a new business, a new online business in 6 weeks. So the idea really is that you will watch me as I go through the process of starting up an online business in 6 weeks. The idea is that I'll get paid in 6 weeks with my methodology. So, welcome to Ideas to Riches, and thank you for joining me again in this second episode. So, we started this journey last week where I proposed that you join me uh, in creating a new business over the next 6 weeks. So, my name is Al Habib, as you all know. I'm the lead instructor in Ideas to Riches. We have put together a 6-step approach to starting an online business in 6 weeks. So this is the process that we recommend to our client. This is the process we expect our clients to go through. So I want you to witness me as I go through the process of starting this business. So last week, in the first episode, I proposed that you follow me, and I spoke about the 6 steps that we have at our Dares to Riches. So if you, in case you want to recollect and you want to think about the steps that we talked about, please visit www.adares2riches.com. That's www.adares, the number two, riches.com. So there you get the full details of exactly what the process is. So this is step one of starting a business in 6 weeks. So the step really is converting the idea that I have into a value proposition. So last week we didn't have any particular idea that we can work on, but now what I've been doing over the last few days is really thinking about where and what sort of business, what sort of idea I can create I can turn into a profitable business within 6 weeks, following the process that we have at Ideas to Riches. So what I'll invite you to do is to now look at the screen, this mind map. So this is the new idea. I want to tell you about the idea, and I want to tell you how I thought about turning this idea into a value proposition that I can propose to my potential customers. So please bear with me as I go through the process. So the first thing, obviously, is to generate the idea, what the idea is exactly. So as you can see here, what we've done is to please bear with me. Right. So what we've done, as I was saying to you, is this is step one, turning an idea into a value proposition. Sorry about the technology issues around that. And in turning an idea into a value proposition, obviously we need to have clarity about what the idea is, and we need to have some idea of who the customer is. This should not be confused with the second stage of the system that we have at Ideas Riches, where we're profiling customers. But the idea is that you have a solution to a particular problem that a particular customer is having, and the value proposition is what the customer will buy. This is what you are going to sell to the customer. So this is what this is about. So let's talk about the idea. So the idea I've come up with is in the industry I work in at the moment. So it is worth mentioning at this point that as it's best when you're selecting your idea that you have some level of expertise and some level of passion for whatever it is that you're trying to do in this you're trying to turn into a business. So I have the industry that the industry really is private sector development. Now, private sector development is probably what most people know as pro-poor projects. So basically, these are this is an approach that donors such as USAID, UK Aid, EU, SDC of the Swiss Corporation, all of these donor projects, Ford Foundation, and people like that. All of these donors create projects, pro-poor projects in developing countries, say in Africa or Asia or somewhere in the Middle East. So the private sector, the development is basically focusing on how to grow the private sector of an economy to make sure that this private sector employs a whole lot more people and creates value for the country. And the hope is that if you can help people do their business better, this will lift them out of poverty, and the economy of the country they're living will grow, and they will have a better life on the whole. So that's the industry I work in, and that's what I thought I would do something for within that industry. I can convert this into an idea in 6 weeks. So this is what we have. This is what I have put together as the. This is what I've put together as the idea. Now, the service then, what is it that I'm trying to do for people within this sector? So I have an expertise in this sector. I've worked in this sector. I do advisory in this sector. I do technical advisory in this sector. So one of the things that I come across as part of my engagement across Africa, when I go from country to country to advise projects, is the sheer commonality between some of the ideas and the variability in the results that comes out of the ideas that people have. And this here is because there's plenty of platforms that people can share all of these sort of ideas, but this platform are effectively attended by very few implementers. So people that are at the front end of the work that they do. So these are the people that go out in the field that actually do the technical implementation. So you get supervisors. There are plenty of platforms. You can write articles. You can do podcasts. There are podcasts, there are webinars that goes on where people go on to share ideas. So what I'm proposing is slightly different from that. What I'm proposing is on the field audio and video recording interviews with development professionals that will effectively put out experiences, knowledge, new ideas, where people can talk about things. So the idea is that we'll be creating episodes of the issues around private sector development, and we share it with people on this platform. So it's creating a platform for development professionals, and the platform is basically to grant access to audio and video resources, right, for development professionals to access experts. So within private sector development, there are very many areas that people need help in, or are thinking really new ideas all the time. So there is the technical aspect of private sector development projects, and this is market system development is a particular approach. What I'll probably change that to, and you see, this is what is wonderful about this sort of stuff, because I'm ruminating, I'm thinking about the idea as I talk about it. And so what I probably should change this to is implementation methods or approaches actually. So, approaches. So the point, I don't know if I spelled that correctly, but so the idea really is that we have experts in this field that can come and have conversations with people come and have conversation with me where people have access to asking very serious questions about the technical aspect of implementing a private sector development project. The other technical area is monitoring and evaluation. This is obviously where you look at the results that these projects are achieving, and you present it to the sponsors of the project. So I want a platform. I'm creating a platform where people can have video conversation, live conversation, such as the one I'm having right now. There'll be live interviews, there'll be audio recording of those interviews, and they'll be shared with professionals that did not see the live broadcast or cannot go to the channel that will have this conversation. But this is supposed to promote participatory development within private sector development. So this is what the idea is. That's for the technical. So people will have on the platform, people will have access to experts in the technical areas of private sector development, and they'll have access to management. When I say management, there's management of the project itself, and there's management of how the implementation firm, the firm that the donors gave the project to go and implement, how the management impacts on the project. And then we go down to the project level itself, how the management of the project impacts on the results that the projects get. So this is what this is what I'm putting together. Access to those experts, service providers. So some of the things that we do within private sector development is use consultants, experts in different fields, to really provide services for us so we can help develop the market. So these people are particularly important, and they have opinions about the way we work and how we work, how effective the method that we're pushing is. So that's the second access point for people. So within a particular country, you can have a service provider that one project is aware of, but another project is not aware of. Or you may a project might be aware of the service provider, but might think because another project is using that service provider, they can't use that service provider. So, but these service providers themselves have views on how effective development approaches and development projects within these developing countries really is. So the principle really is to bring all of those people together and have conversations and begin to learn from the conversations we have with them. Business people. So private sector is entirely focused on helping large businesses create inclusive business models, helping small businesses grow to plug into the supply chains and some sort of transactional relationship with these large companies. And those people have opinion in the way we implement these projects and the effectiveness of implementing those projects. Government people, so projects we work with, as you can see, I spelled government wrong. So we work with government because obviously they create the regulatory environment for all of this activities that's done by development project. So, and then there's obviously all sorts of other partners. So the idea really is to create a platform that we can begin to share, to create a platform that will create an avenue for development professionals to begin to share ideas. And the format that we take, where I have an idea, it's going to be a live broadcast such as this. It's going to be a video, sort of video recording, audio recording of this sort of interview and discussions, and that will be shared. So this is what the idea is, at least for the moment. So now that's where we are currently. So I've come up with the idea, as I was saying, it will be in audio and it will be in video. So I've come up with the idea. And so what I now want to talk to you about is the customer. Now, as I said to you earlier, the customer, obviously when you come up with an idea, you have an idea of the sort of, you have a thought about the type of person or the customer that potentially will buy your product. So this is not the customer profiling the customer profiling comes next week. That's the second step of the 6-step process. And the customer profiling will go through that. But here is just to indicate the type of customers that I think can use this service. So obviously, development practitioners. So these are people that are already, so new entrants, people that maybe graduates, maybe some people that are changing industry, or people that really want to work within private sector development. Those people will find this particularly beneficial. Current implementers, so these are people that are actually already doing this thing. So when they come and share ideas and discuss ideas, and probably watch other people discuss ideas, so there are things that can be picked up from here. Certified professionals, so there's some certification process within private sector development, whether it's for M&E or whether it's for the technical aspect of private sector development. So the idea is to gather all of this practitioners and begin to interact with them to create a platform that people can learn from, people can gain new ideas and new even identify potential partners. So as I said here, potential project partners obviously will get better educated in the way what a development project is supposed to do within a country, and how this development project is going to implement, and the sort of relationship the project wants to have with partners. So this will help release some of the difficulties, or relieve some of the difficulties that practitioners have when they go and talk to business people or potential partners, because potential partners might be thinking that they should just give them money. And obviously donors will find this useful, getting feedback effectively on how effective the project design that they've done is. Now, this is the crux of the matter. So I've talked about the idea. The idea is to create a platform for experts to share ideas, right? I called it ideas platform. So what's the value proposition? So because what people will buy from me would not be the platform. They will come and buy a value that I'm proposing that I'll give them. So what exactly is it that anybody will have when they come to the platform? So the product that I'll be selling, what value will it be providing people? As I've said in some videos in the past, so value proposition is divided into two. So you have the gain value proposition, and you have the pain value proposition. Now, the pain value proposition is effectively resolving a problem that exists, whether it's affordability, whether it's availability, whether it's access, whether it's awareness. So these are the four potential categories that a product or service can come and resolve. And so that's how we think in terms of the pain value proposition. The gain value proposition is when you acquire something. So if something exists or it doesn't exist, whether it's a particular skill that is rare in that particular location, or that is basically simply not available, or is available, is not accessible, all of those things. So I'm gaining from buying this value. So what I have decided here is that my value proposition is gain. So what it means is that I'm not resolving any particular problem. It is not a problem that professionals do not have, and they have plenty of platforms, different types of platforms that professionals can go and get experience. Most of it is either they read on a website, or they listen to a podcast. But it isn't what I am trying to create here is effectively an development ideas show. That's what I'm trying to create. So there'll be different guests at different times coming to the show to do interviews, and then hopefully share knowledge, experience, and expertise that the potential customers can access. Now, I called it affordable access. So that's the gain that they have. It. So anybody that comes to the platform is gaining access to this incredible knowledge, but it's an affordable access, you see. So you have expert knowledge on the stuff that we talked about earlier. So experts analyzing the impact of different methodologies and different approaches. Experts analyzing the results of different projects. And even the skills that's required within development. So experts really analyzing those things. And then the new thinking. So there are people that are coming up with new approaches, new ideas all the time. So I want to create a platform where people can effectively go and share these new ideas with people and get even immediate and feedback on what this ideas, what the idea is, and potentially what they'll get out of it. Events promotion. So there are plenty of events that happens around development. And so this idea is to create where people can talk about pre-event, at the event, and post-event issues that will effectively move development forward. So that's the value. That's the value that I'll be providing whoever it is that buy access into this affordable service. And then obviously experience. So we can have common methodologies, we can have common approaches to different things. But what would be really wonderful is a site or a station that people can go to and hear the person that actually did the implementation, hear him talk about it. There are nuances in communication when you're watching somebody on a video that can be really useful. So, and that can even result in greater communication and greater exposure of the facts and some of the things that really will not make the report. So the idea is that if this comes on, it will be really useful for people that will come and share their experiences, and people that will share their experiences. We share lessons and we share results from different approaches, as I said. The other thing is that so there are different factions within private sector development, and there are different views about different approach style and so on. So what is useful as well is that we can create a platform. This platform will be where people debate issues. So where the strengths and weaknesses of for different approaches, a platform where people can just talk about the theories, the approaches, and hopefully debate skill development required within the industry. So awareness of new ideas, new thinking, new methodologies, and a forum where people can just basically share concerns, contribute to the development of private sector development approaches. So this essentially is the value that I think people will get out of this platform. So people will come in, people will talk about all of this stuff, and questions will be raised, and hopefully it will be interactive, so we can be reading online questions as it comes along, and these experts and these professionals will share the experience with whoever it is that have with the customer. So that's the value proposition. That's the gain. Now the question is then, how did I convert the idea into a value proposition? Where did I start from? I suppose it's slightly easy for me because this is where I work. This is my industry. So I have experienced some of this pain, and I continue to experience it. And I wish there's something that's just nice and easy that doesn't require me to take too much time reading. And some of the things that you read, when you then speak to the person that's implementing or that's behind, or the author of whatever it is that you've read, will have a whole lot more, because there's contextual issues that may not have been captured in a particular report. There are things that really will not, that you can't really capture in writing. So an audio or video interview interaction may bring all of these things out and hopefully contribute to greater need. So this is the value proposition. So I was able to convert this because I work in this industry, and I am still in the private sector development. I'm still working in private sector development. So I wish there's a place I can go to that comes up at a regular time, just like a TV series, really, that I can go and witness or see an expert discuss a particular issue within my industry. So this is a long video because, as I always say in my previous video, that this is an absolute important part of the process. Getting an idea, getting clarity on what the idea is, and really focusing on how that idea provides value for potential customer. So next week, what I'll try and do between now and next week is maybe I may record some of the activities I'll be doing in terms of really identifying, thinking about the customer and who the customer is, and beginning to profile the customer, actually developing the tool to profile the customer. So hopefully that will follow next time. It's a very long video. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you've stayed with it for that long. But this is the first step of converting an idea into a business. So this is the first step of converting the idea I have into a business, and that's going to happen in the next 6 weeks. I'm hoping you will witness me finish and create this business in 6 weeks and see me get my very first check in the next 6 weeks. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for watching. Until next week, when we discuss the next step, and I'll show you exactly what it is that I have done and how I've done it. Thank you. Bye-bye.